It is so heartwarming to see all of you people. I am so grateful to Pastor Jim and the church, including the council. I am so grateful and thankful to Friendship International, including Mama Lois and Masu, who continue to drive, who continue to run Friendship International. They are now the friendship, the brain behind the life, the moving of Friendship International forward. So I'm so grateful to the two of them, including all of those who attend their meetings, their friends, including 𝗪𝗪 and all of you people who continue to contribute for the survivor and the life of Friendship International, helping hundreds and thousands of people across the Atlantic Ocean in Africa. So I'm so thankful to you people, to all of you people, for coming and for what you are doing. I'd like to specifically thank somebody here who is, we might not know, he comes from Trinity Methodist United Methodist Church. Trinity United Methodist Church, right? Great. And that person is Brother Steve Strassman. Steve, will you please stand? We are very honored to welcome you to this service today. That gives me a hand clap. The video we're going to watch later, just 7 minutes, 37 seconds video we will be watching later, was all done by him through the collaboration with Friendship International. Steve is a great guy, and he's helping us say or narrate the story from Africa. And Steve, like I shared with you in May, please, you are invited to Liberia. Please come along with the team to Liberia in 2023 to help us capture the biggest picture, as we're going to be doing when they come for the groundbreaking of the school that we're hoping to build for poor children, especially girls in Africa. So please come help us say or narrate the story from Africa. Thank you to all of you for coming, but these are the people who have been able to get us moving where we are. I had earlier mentioned 𝗪𝗪. He just walked in. Ted is currently the president of Friendship International. He took over when Dr. Mark Mordren passed away. So Ted and Sharon, you guys are wholeheartedly welcome. And his family has also been so great for the moving of Locula Foundation. So these are people I might not be able to call your names one by one, but I'm so grateful to all of you people. You might have heard of the prayer of St. Francis. In 1991, I was very young when I came across this prayer of St. Francis, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. This prayer of St. Francis of Assisi moved me so much. The prayer moved me to the extent that I also fashioned my own prayer that I call my plead after St. Francis' prayer. And I say, Lord, make me an avenue in your world. Where there is animosity, let me bring friendship. Where there is misery, let me bring contentment. Where there is neglect, let me bring acceptance. Where there is nothing, let me bring abundance. Where there is weakness, let me bring strength. Where there is no future, let me bring prospect. Where there is darkness, let me bring splendor. Where there is trouble, let me bring progress. Where there is weeping, let me bring delight. Where there is no way, let me be the way. Where there is pain, let me bring relief. And where there is hunger, let me bring food. And this is the context that we come in, or we come from, especially in a small country devastated by 14-year civil war, a country devastated by Ebola, currently a country devastated by COVID. And this is where I found myself. And as I speak to you this morning, I look forward to all of you people helping me, joining me to realizing this dream, this prayer. So currently, I just wanted to say that in terms of poverty and economic crisis in post-war Liberia, we have 50.9% of Liberians are living beyond the national poverty line. The national poverty line is any family, an entire family, who cannot survive, who cannot earn $2 or who are surviving under $2 a day is the national poverty line. There are so many families who cannot just get $2, who cannot afford $2. Some cannot even afford $1 in order to survive on it. And that's the national poverty line. interpretation we have there. It was a 2016 the housing and expenditure, income and expenditure survey we had in Liberia. So we had our census around 2011, and we are just around 5 million people. Liberia is a small country, and we got low. We don't have huge population. We are very small. But out of the 5 million people, nearly 3 million people in Liberia are unable to even get or earn their basic needs. UNESCO is the United Nations Education, Scientific, Cultural Organization. It says that female literacy in Liberia is just 34% as compared to male literacy, which is 62%. And this is one of the statistics that continue to drive me. So you can see that there's a big gap and there's a big disparity between male education and female education in Liberia. Poverty is expected to rise due to the increasing food prices, lower commodity, post-Ebola, and that of the ongoing COVID that is killing people, no job in Liberia. People are really, really struggling. And some of those people who will be affected are women and girls. This is why our program is mainly focused on women and girls empowerment, because they continue to find themselves at the bottom. They continue to be affected by all of these situations, whether it was economic crisis, whether it was a political crisis, they continue to be affected. I got a $6 over there. 3 weeks ago, my sister called me that a lady had gone knocking at our door with her sick baby, and she just needed $6 to take her child to hospital. And I was not there, because that's just one of the stories. Since I've been in the U.S. now for the last 2 years, people go knocking at my door because they know that I try to help even with the little I have, or even in the midst of nothingness. So people know that I try to help. So most of the time, people are added to my house looking for food. They want paid tuition. They want medical. $6. That lady never had it. My sister told me the child was very, very sick from low blood. They never had money, $6 just to take the child to hospital. I had to call one of my friends quickly to help me go to the house with $6, and I was going to plan to send that money back to him so that he can have his money back. But I'm glad that we were able to help, and she was able to take her child to hospital. As little as $6. Somebody never had it to save her child's life. So as part of my plea that I talk about, you will either see me, I will have either been in Southern Sudan. This is a picture from Southern Sudan, trying to investigate human rights violations. So you see me leading a group of people to do investigation in the village where armed men have gone and murdered civilians who were running away from the war. In the next picture, you will see me, the guy who stands in front there, he's the local chief. He's trying to give me the names of people who were buried in separate graves so I can take it as part of my investigation, because part of my investigation I was doing and the report I was putting together, they are hoping, the UN is thinking that in the next 10, 15, 20 years, if the war finished from South Sudan and they try to establish a war crime court to prosecute some of those people, most of the reports I was doing, the UN will use it as evidence for prosecution. So that's the work I was doing. Those are different mass graves. We are on top, so they are telling us so person were buried in this grave, and I was taking down the names as part of my investigation. Asking the United Nations to find food for people who are displaced. They have left their home. The rain is falling on them in the bush. No food to eat. Some are dying from diarrhea. Some are dying from malaria. No place to go. So I'm looking for a way to ask the United Nations, the World Food Program, to provide food for these people, but also Appetite for Humanity, asking people to provide shelter for these people. That was part of my work I was doing in South Sudan. In some area, we would go for 200-300 miles in the village. Sometimes no road to travel on. We have to climb the mountain, go behind the mountain just to bring stories and tell the world what is happening in this country. And these are Chinese soldiers, because the place was so a security problem in the place. Anytime bomb can explode, you have the Chinese soldiers who will accompany the civilian team to go to these areas. So I was also out in Southern Sudan consoling a young girl who had been affected by violence. perpetrated by armed groups against her. And when I say by violence, I want us to think just beyond the word violence. There are so many violence. I don't like to say some of the words for some reason. In this picture, I'm teaching women about their rights, because many times, many women in Africa don't even know their rights. So I was telling them, whether you wear hair tie, whether you wear sandals or high heels, whether you wear just flip-flop, whether you wear great dress, you women, whether you are in Liberia or Nairobi or New York, all women are human beings and all women's rights are human rights. So I was teaching these women about their rights in Liberia. And also I have gone all over Liberia, especially in 2005 and 2011, teaching women about their rights to vote, because some women will say, oh, I'm not going to school, or I'm just a woman, I can't vote. So I had to go around the country to teach the women about their rights to vote. So this is a picture in March 2019. I brought these women together. There are like 119 women, single mothers. Some husband died from the war. Some got children they can't feed. That was just a little way of my own effort through Friendship International here to give some little food to them. Food, rice, salt, something like bath soap, and other things just to provide for them to eat.
And that's what's wrapped up in the bags on their heads.
Yeah, so we wrap it in the bag, we put it in the bags, rice, and then that's what they have on their head, and they are so grateful for that. Thank you, Masu. So with all of the work I've done, either in pre-war Liberia, in post-war Liberia, going in Southern Sudan, spending the other 6 years, I decided to work with my own local people through a foundation which I call the Locula Foundation. And that idea was, I sold the idea here to Dr. Mark, to Masu, and Mama Lois first in 2016 when I visited here, when I spent 1 month with Dr. Mark. So that's the reason why I'm proud to come back to make this first presentation about Locula Foundation here in B for them, because it is here that I sold the idea to Masu, Mama Lois, and Dr. Mark, and the rest of the people. So when I left here, 2018, I got back to Liberia, or 2019, I got back to Liberia. We launched the first program for this foundation we call the 𝗪𝗂𝗱𝘆 Project. The 𝗪𝗂𝗱𝘆 is where we take 100 United States dollars, we gave to a woman who has no business, who has no husband, who cannot feed her children, who cannot send her children to school, who cannot pay her children a hospital bill. We gave her this $100. She began to make little business. After 6 months to 9 months, she able to establish a firm business, and she will pass on to us that $100. Then we take it and give it to another woman to start business. After another 6 to 9 months, she will give that money back. We give it to another woman. So by the grace of God, we have affected the lives of 30 women in Liberia through the 𝗪𝗂𝗱𝘆 Project. They are signing up for the money, so happy, and this program has changed their lives. Not only their lives, but the lives of their children, and even the community in which they live. So they are signing up for that money, and that's my sister in the middle who volunteered with me. She got a bachelor's degree in business, and she volunteers with me to help the women run this program in Liberia. Yeah, so that's one of the ladies who signed up for the money. The thing you see in the bucket is flour, wheat flour mixed together with oil. She fry it, they call kala or polo. And she also selling footwear like slippers, we would say, just to make sure that to run that program or her business and so forth. And your own guy here called 𝗪𝗪𝗱. 𝗪𝗪𝗱 was in Liberia on August 24, 2019. And these are just portion of the 30 women who had gathered to share their story. How they got the money, how they were able to expand the money, how the money is affecting their lives. So I wanted to talk about some of the achievements of the 𝗪𝗂𝗱𝘆 Project. For the first time, through the 𝗪𝗂𝗱𝘆 Project, some of the 30 women were able to establish bank accounts. For a woman to own bank account in many parts of Africa is something very strange. It doesn't happen frequently, besides those who are educated, who got a good job. But a woman who hasn't gone to school, maybe she knows how to read and write, but not finishing high school, struggling, getting a bank account is nothing small. So many of the women were able to establish bank account through this. They are now able to pay their kids' school fees. They are now able to pay their children's medical bill. They are paying rent. Those who don't have house can now pay rent. They are paying, being able to buy daily food for their family. And they have increased or expanded that little business that they started with the $100 US. They had expanded it, and they are so happy, and it has affected their life. There's something in Liberia we call susu. Susu is where business women, in terms of 5 business women will say, okay, this week we will collect 1,000 Liberian dollars each and give it to one woman. So the Locula Foundation giving $100 to women, they have also been able to establish another program where they can also give money to each other in order to expand their business. So you can imagine how much the extent to which this foundation has gone with such a project. So leaving the microfinance project, what now we want to do, we are looking at girls' education. There are many girls who don't have the opportunity to go to school in Liberia and in many parts of Africa. So this year, this is Betty. She had been going to school but struggling, and her story is so pathetic. Betty had to go to the school, the whole school, to wash the bathroom, the toilet of the school during the morning session, so that the school will pay her. And the money she was getting from there, it goes towards her school fees. Then she had to go to school in the afternoon. So she's at school all day in the morning, cleaning the toilet. In the afternoon, she goes to school. When I heard her story, I called her, I told her, next year we're going to pay her school fee. She's now in the 12th grade. And when she's finished with 12th grade and then do what we call the West African examination, she passes it, she will be eligible to go to college. Because she's in the 12th grade, she needs uniform, she has to buy, she needs to take the national examination, the West African examination, and there are a lot of fees associated with the 12th grade. But even if you compare the fees of a 12th grader in Liberia to that of here in America, there's a big difference. She only has to pay $355 for her entire 12th grade this year. But just besides that she's in the 12th grade, there are other girls who are in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. You can imagine that through an entire academic year, even just $100 can pay a child's entire school fee for the whole year in Liberia, as compared to other areas and so forth. So that's one of the things we have done. And one of the reasons why we are so much moved to doing this is that studies have shown that education is the only sustainable means, or the only sustainable ways through which we can combat or we can eradicate poverty. And we are hoping when the girls get better education, they will be in a better position to run our country, to be independent, and they will not face all of these abuses that they face today because they are not educated. So now Locula Foundation is talking about the construction of school. In May this year, we have bought the land, and in May this year, we had the survey. It's what I call a daunting task. That's a hard bush, hard forest, to get it brushed, to get the stumps, everything up, to get the trunk of the trees, the palm trees, everything out, to turn it into a flat land, to dig foundation and start building school. It is a daunting task, I say, but I look forward to doing that because my heart is there. And in connection to that, somebody may ask, how could we help in this way? We will definitely, of course, need money. We need books. We will need armchairs. We need desks. We will need librarians. We currently have spoken with Anita Stripes, who runs the library. She's so excited. She's even thinking of bringing her family to Liberia, and I'm so grateful about that, just to see the terrain. But she thinks it's going to be an exposure for her 2 boys as well, to see Africa and to see what that will better contribute also to their education. We will need electricians, we will need carpenters, we will need teachers, and so forth. And this is something I have always said as part of my program, that every fight for the advancement of humanity is a good fight, but the fight for social justice and freedom is worth fighting. So in case you have any question in terms of who you can talk to, you can talk to me, but I want you to kindly talk to Friendship International, Mama Lois. Her email is there, and phone number. Mansu, her email is there, and phone number. And even if you want to speak to Pastor Jane here at church, his phone is the pastor email is there, and that is the email, the phone number from here. And of course, I have mentioned Ted Henkers being the president for the bowl. You can also talk to Ted. A lot of people know Ted. He is an old teacher from Beaver Dam, and he got some beautiful ideas of how we can run the project in Liberia. Other than that, I want to say thank you so much for coming, and I look forward to you spreading the word, talking to people about this foundation. There are a lot of people that I recognize here. Your names were on the board. I know how much we have been talking about this. So any contribution that you want to do, anything that you want to talk, people you want to talk to, we got Ted Henkers, who leads Friendship International, Mama Lois, Masu. These are people you can talk to so that we can positively affect the lives of children, girls somewhere in Africa. Because we are all called to serve, and we live in God's world. We have responsibility to make God's world a better world. Thank you so much. Those of you people who got young children, grandchildren, and wanting for them to get some exposure outside of America, please talk to Masu, Mama Lois, Ted Henkers about a possible trip, because we are planning a trip to Africa in 2023, hopefully. And we got Jonathan Gibbs, his son might be coming. We may have Morgan, my colleague, coming. We may have Anita Strice from the library, her two boys coming. I just want to see how that kids from here can get exposure just a little beyond the walls of America, to see how life is outside there. And I'm telling you, when they do that, it can impact their lives forever. So thank you.